Translated into a plain and indifferent fake heiress, the female lead binds me with a mind-reading system to expose my true colors of feigned aloofness. The female lead competes with me for a dress. I think to myself, I really want to eat an orange, but I must remain indifferent. I'll secretly eat it under the covers later. The true heiress female lead is utterly bewildered. The big shot is going to stand up for the real heiress. I thought to myself, the executive chair looks so comfortable. But the most important thing in life is dignity. I can't ask for the link. I'll just secretly take a photo and search for it later. The big shot looked utterly confused. Later, someone accused me of being falsely aloof, but the real heiress said, no, she genuinely doesn't care. I really want to eat an orange, but I must remain indifferent. I'll quietly eat it under the covers later. Kathy, who had snatched the more expensive dress, froze with a stiff smile. Long ago, the serene as a chrysanthemum system approached me, asking me to play the role of a serene and indifferent supporting female character. I didn't need to do anything, just maintain a composed and indifferent demeanor. My instinctive response, whatever, it said. Great, you're getting into the groove. After living this, graceful as a chrysanthemum, life for so long since crossing over, I finally realized I was actually the fake heiress, while the female lead, naturally, was the real heiress. Kathy, before choosing the dress, she whispered, I'll make sure everyone sees your true colors. Mom came to let us pick, and I casually said, I'm fine with anything. Rita is so sensible, then let Mom help you choose. She nodded in satisfaction, pointing to the more expensive and ornate one. This was meant to make Kathy the foil, yet Kathy snatched that one away and spoke up first. Since my sister said either is fine, I'll pick the one I like. Mom glared at her. Why are you rushing? You're not half as composed as your sister. Kathy seemed like a completely different person. She didn't feel sad at all, just looked at me provocatively, yet I simply nodded. It's fine. Dress, oranges, oh, I really want to eat some oranges, but I must remain composed. I'll secretly eat it under the covers later. The covert orange operation, truly worthy of me. After a moment of silence, Mom patted my head and said, the child is perfect in every way, just a bit silly. Good news. I have a very wealthy boyfriend. Bad news, someone told me. Childhood betrothal, a marriage arranged before birth. I pondered for a moment. Then the intended spouse probably isn't me, right? Mom gave me a reproachful glance and, seeing that Kathy didn't react particularly, said, given our special circumstances, let's just bring both girls to meet him. Wow, I can't believe there are still people with such feudalistic thinking these days. And now he's picking concubines. How full of himself. Mom patted the back of my head. You don't understand. Francis is young and promising, with impeccable character. He's the best choice in this circle. If you can be with him, then Mom can rest easy. So the next day, we were brought before Francis. The man looked at us with a hint of amusement in his voice. I heard one of you two is my intended marriage partner. So, which one is it? Mother pushed me from behind, signaling me to speak up. I did speak up. This matter is a bit complicated. I've prepared a PPT. Would you like to review the details first? Francis sneered at my words, stood up, and walked closer to me. No need. I've heard about your story. After occupying the crown prince's position for so many years, you imposter. He leaned slightly forward, his shadow completely enveloping me, and continued, why are you still staying at the Roberts family? I lowered my head in silence, appearing deeply ashamed. Yet, his executive chair looks so comfortable. But the most important thing is to maintain dignity. Can't ask for the link. I'll just secretly take a photo and search for it later. He didn't seem like he was going to sit back down anytime soon. Can I pretend to operate the computer and secretly sit in his boss chair? So I picked up the USB drive. Are you sure you don't want to take a look? I made the PowerPoint very detailed. Sitting on the sofa, I gazed longingly at the boss chair. It even has wheels. No. I must remain indifferent. How can I show interest in a chair with wheels and a backrest that looks so ergonomically perfect? Francis leisurely brewed tea. I will honor the engagement, but I don't wish for my future wife to suffer any grievances. So, he pushed the teacup toward me. Things that belong to her. I hope you can return them. Mom stood up. Rita was raised by me. She is my daughter. You were the one who brought up the engagement first, and now, the engagement is off. We don't care for it. Francis leaned back comfortably, confident. I know you need my help. How about that project in the eastern suburbs? Her angry expression stiffened slightly. It's burning me. I picked up the teacup, then set it back down. I'm officially recognized as someone as calm as a chrysanthemum. Even if I get burned, I must maintain my composure. I quietly rubbed my hands together, a power move. But drinking this would only leave me calling for help. I'll eat a candy and say I can't drink water later, so I pretended nothing had happened, unwrapped a candy, and popped it into my mouth. Looking up, I realized the previously tense atmosphere had completely dissipated. Seeing them looking at me, I reflected, was it because I was eating alone? So I took out the candy from my pocket. Want some? Once I get kicked out, where should I set up a stall? Where's the busiest spot? Kathy fell into deep self-doubt. Francis looked at me with a complicated expression and said, "What exactly are you here for? This is called Just Like I Am Here." Wait a minute. With a serious expression, I hesitated for a long time before finally pulling a face out of my mouth. What? This isn't candy, it's a compressed facial mask. It expands and grows taller when exposed to water. Just having a simple face mask snack. All about masks. No, even after eating a face mask, one must maintain dignity. After 2 seconds of silence, I confidently said, "Magic." Shouldn't have said, "Magic." Should have said, "The moment to witness a miracle." I washed my hands while silently berating myself, only to turn around and see Kathy standing right behind me. She eyed me warily and asked, "Did you come back too?" I glanced around uncertainly and replied, "Back? Where? The restroom." Is she calling me shit? Seeing my reaction seems genuine. She frowns. Then why is it different now? Weren't you supposed to righteously declare you wouldn't marry him, that all people are born equal, and family bonds shouldn't be determined solely by blood ties? Aren't you trying to get his attention? Don't you love pretending to be aloof, then having others deliver what you want right to your hands? Is this what I'm supposed to do? It seems a bit challenging, right? Even when criticized, I should maintain my composure, I said with a straight face. With you saying that, I can't defend myself no matter what I say. She sneered. No matter what you say, I know your true colors. This time, I won't let you succeed. I've been meaning to ask. Why is she the older sister? She looked puzzled. I should clearly be the older sister. Shouldn't I? Oh. I remember now. Mom asked me back then whether I wanted to be the older sister or the younger one. I replied indifferently, either is fine. All right, never mind then. The next day, I stood outside the gate with my suitcase, yet hesitated to leave. Kathy sneered. "You're not waiting for Mom to come back and beg you to stay, are you? Stop pretending like I'm the one kicking you out. You might as well beg me. Who knows? Maybe I can find a way to let you stay." Before I could speak, a car stopped in front of me, the window rolled down, and Harrison sneered. Well, if it isn't Rita. Haven't seen you in days. How the mighty have fallen. Kicked out. That's rough, staring at your phone like that. Who are you waiting for? Couldn't be that arranged marriage fiancé of yours, could it? Harrison and I grew up together, but he unilaterally considers me his arch-nemesis. The main reason is that when we were kids, we were practically like two left-behind children. As a girl, I developed faster than him and grew much taller, so I tricked him into believing I gave birth to him, and he actually bought it. My bad. The kid was already a bit slow, and I had to tease him like that. Don't wait for him, let's go. My mom asked you to come to my place. Kathy suddenly realized. So you've changed targets, playing the victim just for him, right? All that talk about sisterhood. I actually doubted if I was mistaken. Turns out you're still the same as ever. What? Harrison blushed, pretending to be pitiful. For me, I wouldn't be fooled by such a clumsy trick, as if stubbornly insisting he wasn't completely fooled. He just enjoys spinning in circles, that's all. They kept talking one after another, and for a moment I didn't know which one to respond to. Don't crowd around here. My takeout is about to arrive. How can I maintain my aloof demeanor with all of you staring at me? Never mind, I'll get to work soon. Even when working, I must maintain my dignity. I've roughly figured out the situation. It's a rebirth story. The original owner must have committed some sins in her past life. As long as I remain as indifferent as a chrysanthemum and stay out of her sight, is that enough? So, off to have fun. Yet, whether it's the plot's forced guidance or not, every time I work part-time, I end up running into Kathy. Kathy takes a photo with the giant mascot at the mall entrance, and from inside the costume, I weakly speak up. "It's not right for you to touch my belly so casually." The parking lot was too far, and she and Francis were stuck in the scenic area on a rainy day. I pulled up in front of them with my car, license plate ending in 8966. They looked at each other, hesitant to get in the car. After a moment's thought, I handed them an umbrella, 20 for one. Do you want one or two? The two were bungee jumping, and Francis was expressing his distress. Is she like a ghost because I kicked her out? Is she hunting me down? Kathy smiled and said, impossible, you're overthinking it. The staff member next to him lifted the brim of his hat. Haha, go die. With that, he reached out and pushed Francis off. A scream pierced the sky, and the people in line behind them. Wow, that sounds so intense. I turned to Kathy. Your turn. Kathy quietly took a step back. Such a rare and thrilling experience. He should be thanking me. After countless dates, the two met at a cafe. Sorry. It seems I still don't have feelings for you. Not even the suspension bridge effect worked. Zzz. Kathy quickly waved her hands. No, it's not your problem. As a friend, I'm really grateful for your help. But, if you don't like me, why did you help me? Francis fell silent for a moment before admitting, I learned about your situation and saw how strong you were. So full of vitality, it reminded me of some things in my own family, so I thought, I should help you. Zzz. I see. Her voice lowered. That's why in my past life, because I was too weak back then. Francis sighed. I'm sorry, I can't be with you, but it seems you don't have feelings for me either. Kathy nodded. Don't worry, I promise to help you, and I won't go back on my word. Zzz. Click. A hand reached over and turned off the machine. Francis looked at me with an expression that was both exasperated and amused. Enough already, let's talk. I pressed the switch expressionlessly, and the ice cubes were instantly crushed into shaved ice with a zzz sound. No one can stop me from working, no one. So he actually waited until I got off work. Is your car here? He asked me. Yes. Why, let's talk in your car. I've already sent her home with my driver. I thought for a moment, then nodded hesitantly. That's fine, but my bike doesn't have a back seat. You'll have to sit on the crossbar. This is so hard to ride. Can I at least ride with some dignity? Never mind. I'll just say it straight, I have some sleep disorders, but I've noticed that every time I meet you, I sleep very well. I'd like to hire you. After understanding his meaning, I felt somewhat puzzled. Does he mean he was so angry with me that he fainted? But does he actually enjoy the feeling of being angered to the point of fainting? At that moment, Harrison pushed the door open and said, You can't agree to his request. He placed the items in his hand on the table, blocking our line of sight. Harrison repeated once more, Don't agree to him, because you have to agree to me first. As I looked at the ceramic artwork on the table, I couldn't help but sigh, recalling how he had been obsessively sending me these things over the years. He truly loves pottery. Harrison was stunned for a moment, then angrily exclaimed, Rita, are you really just a block of wood with only two states? On fire or completely numb? I said. There's another possibility. He's truly insane. Honor me with a meal, Francis said. Let's discuss in detail. My mouth muscle memory, whatever. Harrison said unhappily. No, I'm hungry. You have to accompany me first. Not wanting to argue with a child, Francis was very patient. I wasn't planning to say anything shady. If you want, you can come along. I'll call and reserve 3 seats later. Only then did the persistent interjector seem satisfied. However, just as we were about to depart, Francis stood up from his seat, swayed slightly, and suddenly collapsed. Holy shit! Harrison was startled and quickly went to support him. Call for help immediately. I nodded. All right, I'll inform them to remove 1 seat. Harrison, is this the number you're calling? Wouldn't ordering a couple's meal be cheaper for 2 seats? Harrison, who had been struggling to hold on, fell silent for a moment before slowly, very slowly, laying the person down on the ground. Looking up, he urged me, Why aren't you calling yet? Don't know the number. Then I'll call. Francis woke up in the hospital. I said, You're awake. Congratulations. The surgery was a success. You've forgotten that you were a donkey. The last shred of our humanity made us take him to the hospital, and the result was, he was just sleeping. I couldn't make sense of it. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Where I'm from, we don't usually call unconsciousness sleeping. The belated executive assistant breathed a deep sigh of relief upon learning that his CEO was unharmed. He told us about his recent schedule, while Harrison silently took a seat. What's wrong? He said, I'm a bit tired from listening. I'll sit for a while. I gradually grew to admire, so even the wealthy have to work like donkeys. Seriously, does he have to do everything himself? Then what's the point of paying salaries? If Francis has a date during the day, he'll work twice as hard at night to make up for the lost time, and the so-called slept well merely meant uninterrupted sleep for a full 4 to 5 hours. Now Francis was awake. He was just about to speak when Harrison said, "No need to thank me, just stay away from her in the future. And that'll be thanks enough." He opened his mouth again, and I said, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone about you sleeping wherever you please." He finally gave up on speaking and instead took direct action, pulling a face out of his mouth with an expressionless look. The scene seemed somewhat familiar. Harrison was utterly shocked. Holy shit, I felt extremely guilty. By the way, I thought he had low blood sugar at that time. Why is it still in my pocket? I'll throw it away when I get back. Don't worry, even after eating a face mask, we must maintain our dignity. I understand. So I started clapping and exclaimed, "Amazing." Harrison didn't understand the situation but clapped along in confusion. Brilliant. Francis silently threw the face mask into the trash and wiped his hands with a wet wipe. I tried to comfort him. It's okay. Did you know that on average, a person swallows about 8 spiders in their sleep every year? Don't worry, it's no big deal. Life doesn't have that many spectators, okay, unless this is a book, and everyone reading this would leave mocking comments about him. But how could that be possible? He lay back on the bed, closed his eyes, and pulled the covers over himself. It looks so peaceful, like it would cover you for a lifetime. It seems I've been angered to the point of fainting again. I was hired, officially introduced as Francis's special assistant. Since Mom asked me, of course I would agree. "Francis, your request is quite outrageous, but your money makes up for it somewhat. After careful logical consideration, I've come to a preliminary conclusion. This guy must be a bit of a pervert. No, I need to find a way to sabotage this." So, looking at my notes, he pointed out my outrageous metaphorical sentence. "Just like his profile picture, his head resembles garlic cloves, and his tone is equally pungent. His face, typically as pleated as a steamed dumpling, broke into a sly grin. He's like a zongzi. You peel back the leaves to see what's inside, expecting either sweet or meaty, but when you take a bite, it turns out to be pickled vegetable filling. Turns out, he's not after anything, he's just bored and here to stir the pot," he said. "No more analogies from now on. Come to work after you've eaten your fill. And one more thing." He screenshotted another message. "Garlic head, you think you're so clean. Everyone knows you're keeping a mistress behind your wife's back." Steamed bun, no response. Picking nose, he said, "This is a shareholders meeting, not a marketplace. Don't record everything," I said. Rose withering. "JPG," he said, "All right, you can take notes if you want, but you'll need to filter them before giving them to me." I said, "Boss, what I mean is, I bow to you." "I'm sorry," withered Rose. JPG, today, Francis took out an induction cooker from his laptop bag during the meeting. Everyone had question marks all over their faces. Francis said expressionlessly, "Just a little joke. Rita, go get the notebook from my office." He paused, then added, "Computer, the laptop, back in the office." As he was about to say something, his peripheral vision caught the coffee table, and he froze. "Where's my tea? Where did my entire tea set go?" "Here you go." I took out the sweet snow ice cream tea. "Boss, drinking things too hot can cause esophageal cancer. Sigh, if you don't push yourself. You never know how much of a workhorse you can be. Just fire me already. It'll be easier for both of us." Wait a minute, is he going to faint? No, suddenly fall asleep. To my surprise, Francis didn't say anything. He took the milk tea from my hand, inserted the straw, and started drinking. "What you did today was, munch munch munch, too much, chew chew chew, you can't keep doing this, chew 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 chew. What are these pearl-like things inside if they're not actual pearls?" "I recommend, it's popping pearls." He nods. "Oh, Bo's head, sip sip sip." "Where's my lunch?" I pointed at his desk. "On your desk. I ordered fried chicken for you." To be honest, this fried chicken is really delicious, but I have to maintain a composed demeanor and can't eat it often. He sighed and lay down on the sofa, collapsing right there. "You eat it, I'll take a nap first." Fainted from anger again, looking quite pitiful, giving off the vibe of sleep. "You won't feel hungry when you're asleep." He's asleep. Can I secretly sit in his boss chair now? Wow, comfy. When he woke up, the food from his usual restaurant was already laid out on the table. Eat up, don't starve my boss to death. In the evening, Francis had a business dinner, and I hauled the drunk man back home. He was very well behaved, completely docile the whole time, letting me handle him as I pleased, looking at him lying on the sofa with one arm hanging limply. I thought to myself, still quite pretty, thinking I should at least help him take off his coat. As I leaned down, the gloves that came with the fried chicken fell to the floor. I'd been meaning to complain about this. Why did it have to be packaged like this? Luckily he's asleep, otherwise seeing this would leave me speechless. How could I possibly explain it clearly? I picked up the gloves and straightened up, only to see the person who was supposed to be peacefully sleeping now wide awake. His gaze first swept over the items in my hands, then slowly settled on my face. I said, I did want to mess things up, but not necessarily to ruin them completely. Blinking, I tore open the packaging without hesitation. Put on gloves, and reached for the slippers. New sleep-inducing service. No need to thank me. Violently beat the boss until he falls into a deep sleep. How about it? Is my shoe beautiful? At this moment, he opened his mouth. Actually, you don't need to do anything. If I don't need to do anything, then why did you hire me? He adjusted his sleeping position, nestling himself more comfortably. I don't know. It seems like just being by my side is enough. Damn. I've become an emotional support dog. He chuckled softly, his thoughts seemingly slower than usual, pausing for a moment before responding. After my mother was betrayed by my father, her mental state wasn't great. My father had an illegitimate child, and she believed it was all my fault, that I wasn't good enough, which led him to cheat and dote on his illegitimate child. I said, "What? Wait a minute, stop talking. You're not in the right state of mind right now. You don't know what should and shouldn't be said." He just paused briefly, then continued speaking. After the divorce, she didn't take me with her. Later she remarried, and her mental state improved a lot. She had another child, and she treated that child very well. When I went to see her, she actually guarded against me. She's afraid I might hurt her child, but clearly, I am her child too. I somewhat understand why he helped Kathy. He empathized with her. I sighed and said, "You'll regret it when you wake up tomorrow morning." He looked at me and asked, "Don't you have anything to say?" Should I say something?" I asked, puzzled. "I don't know, maybe sympathy, or, you seem to understand everything. I thought you'd advise me to understand her, forgive her, or tell me that child is innocent, or something like that." "Francis, do you know what I'm thinking right now?" He tilted his head, paused for 2 seconds, and said, "You don't care. How did you know?" "That impressive," I continued along with his words. "Francis, I don't care. I don't care whether you'll understand her or that child. Your mother was also confused at that time, but compared to you back then, she was definitely not the more vulnerable one. That child is innocent, but you are also innocent, whether you understand or not, forgive or not. I think both are reasonable. But which side the matter ultimately leans towards depends entirely on you. Do you understand? I am not you. I haven't experienced your past. I have no right to advise you. No one has the right to advise you on whether to forgive. If I casually influence your judgment, it would be irresponsible. Essentially, no one else cares about this matter except you. If someone advises you, just listen, but focus on your own thoughts, because this matter has nothing to do with others. They casually say something and then go back to living their own lives. In the end, you're the one who has to bear the consequences. If someone pressures you, don't take it to heart, because either this matter is related to their interests, making them inherently biased, or they just want to voice an opinion. They will never take responsibility for your life. Never mind. Why am I talking to a drunk about this? The person who had been quietly listening from start to finish said, "So you're this indifferent about everything, so you're this indulgent with Kathy. That's why I can feel so at ease." He closed his eyes. "If you don't know what to do, read a book." "Rita, will you read to me for a while? You don't need to do anything extra. I'm hiring you to be my friend." "Okay." He must be really drunk. Thinking so, I still casually picked a book from his shelf and read by his side until he fell completely asleep. It was already very late when I got home, and upon returning to the apartment, I found someone standing downstairs. "Harrison." He turned around, and one look at his face told me everything. He had been drinking. "What's going on? Why is everyone drunk today? How much did you drink?" I asked. He made a gesture indicating losing the Korean market. just a little, looks like quite a bit to me. I took out my phone to call a ride for him, and he leaned in like a puppy. Am I the first? Am I the first to wish you a happy birthday? It had just passed midnight. The message list was empty. No one had timed their birthday wishes for me at this hour. I said, you are, but why come all the way here in person? Couldn't you just send a message? He looked at me steadily and said earnestly, I couldn't wait until morning. I wanted to see you right now. You've seen me now, so hurry home soon. Don't make your parents worry. He looked somewhat aggrieved. Rita, you're really a blockhead. I looked at him with a half smile and said, Harrison, do you like me? He let out an, ah, then pinched his fingers together again to indicate a small distance. Just a little. After some thought, the gesture distance increased. Just a little bit more. I've seen quite a few. We've witnessed each other's attempts at modifying the curved plow during PE class. Who would have thought we'd end up liking each other? Oh dear, I should have kept my cool all along. But I really like him. What should I do? Harrison's eyes suddenly lit up. Aren't you going to invite me up? Your place must be pretty big, right? At that moment, the car arrived, and I shoved him inside. Sorry, my place doesn't take in drunkards. Come talk to me when you're sober. The next day, I took the day off. Francis asked cautiously, did I offend you yesterday? I replied, no, I went to celebrate my birthday at Hot Pot restaurant. Say goodbye to all your troubles. Meeting up with Kathy. She pointed to the person behind her. What are you here for? Didn't you get enough to eat at the birthday party tonight? Kathy and I are the real and fake heiresses, so naturally, our birthdays fall on the same day, Francis said, going for hot pot. The person always known as a workaholic is absent today. To go eat hot pot. It seems he really wants to have hot pot. Francis helped Kathy before, so Kathy couldn't refuse. He still has the nerve to call others ghosts. She muttered under her breath, thank you, I slept very well last night. Seeing the sudden change in Kathy's expression, I said, his way of speaking is so suggestive, as if there's something between us. I know what comes next. Kathy will misunderstand and confront me. I'll say, I don't know what to say when you slander me like this. What kind of dignity is this supposed to be? I said, no need to be polite. The average rate for psychological counseling is 800 per hour. I read for half an hour. And 4 is an unlucky number. I handed over my payment QR code, boss. Pay up for yesterday's friend fee. The honest price is 500. Without any hesitation, he scanned the code and transferred 50,000. Let's start with 100 days. We'll settle the difference later, I said, classy. Seeing me holding a cake, the young lady at the entrance of Hot Pot restaurant immediately went into high alert. Attention, attention, we have a guest with a cake. She trotted over to me with an enthusiastic smile. Hello, are you dining in? Who's the star of the day? So I pointed and said, it's the two of us. Oh, okay, no problem. So while we were happily cooking the hot pot, the waiter came up to us. Why is this different from what I heard? Shouldn't they be playing, say goodbye to all your worries? Or is this just the intro? Amidst the BGM of, I want to take you to romantic Turkey. Kathy and I received everyone's blessings, best wishes to you, clap 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 clap. You will surely be happy. Applause applause applause. I said, oh, such sincere blessings. No, isn't this sincerity a bit too heavy? Forget it. Andy Lau has been wishing me wealth for so many years and I still haven't gotten rich. One more won't make a difference. The kid's face is all red. I knew you hadn't properly celebrated birthdays before. Today we're making it lively and fun. Francis said, wait a moment, just a little episode. At the evening birthday party, dressed to the nines, no one knew the three of us had already secretly gathered at Hot Pot restaurant for lunch. Everyone firmly believed Francis would honor the engagement, and since I had been kicked out of the family, there was no doubt about who his bride would be. Some even speculated in hushed tones that tonight was actually meant to announce the engagement, making this birthday party unprecedentedly lively. So, many people gathered around Kathy, mostly trying to please Francis through her. Even after being kicked out of the Roberts family, she still has the nerve to come back. I heard she was almost delivering takeout. Seriously, how embarrassing. Yeah, I heard she even rejected the pursuit of the second young master of the Lincoln family. Who knows what she's pretending to be so aloof about, the second son of the Lincoln family. A notorious playboy in their circle who changes girlfriends as often as he changes clothes. He asked if I wanted to be with him, promising a life of luxury as long as I behaved. I told him to get the hell away from me, the speaker said sarcastically. She's got quite the skills. Pretending not to compete, yet getting everything she wants. We could never learn that. Kathy frowned. That's enough. She's not that kind of person. You don't know her. Stop talking nonsense, Mom. Afraid I might overthink, quickly held my hand. Rita, don't take what they said to heart. Mom would never drive you away. I'll bring you back home after some time has passed. I patted her reassuringly and said casually, it's okay, Mom, they don't understand me, nor do they understand us. I don't care. There's nothing shameful about delivering takeout. Can't be bothered to argue. I don't care what they say at all, because I'm utterly indifferent. Francis approached. If you need a male companion, I'm up for the task. This is meant to build momentum for me. Others might find it strange. The one who forced Mom to kick me out is him, and now the one who wants to back me up and shield me from gossip is also him. But I understand that, to him, these are two separate matters, returning what belongs to Kathy, as well as backing up his friend. He draws a clear line. Suddenly, someone lifted the hem of my overly long dress. You just let people bully you like that. Consider this my one-day duty as your follower. Don't thank me. Harrison looked at me, his cheeks slightly flushed. You said you wanted me to say it again when I'm sober. You're not teasing me, are you? I glanced at him, then at my mom. How is this any different from being pinned down at the fountain and beaten? Stealing the spotlight only leads to being targeted. Which one is it? Isn't it the girl who was recently found? No, no. I heard it's the one who was kicked out. Haven't you noticed he's been keeping her by his side lately? Doesn't matter. We've got both of them now. One of them must be the right one. With our phones confiscated, eyes blindfolded, and mouths gagged, Kathy and I listened as they discussed. We turned left again. I recognize this direction. I know who's behind this now. Noticing the person beside me trembling slightly, I felt helpless inside. She's still so young. It's normal for her to be afraid. I tilted my head and gently bumped it against hers. Don't be afraid. We were thrown into an abandoned factory, a very remote place where even traces of homeless people living there could be seen. With my eyes and mouth freed, my heart sank instantly. Not a single face was covered. The implication was clear. Even if kidnapped, we must maintain our dignity. Let's buy some time for the police to rescue us. This plot is really, however. The men continued their conversation as if no one else was present, saying things like, since we're going to die anyway, why not let me have some fun first? My expression suddenly turned icy. 6 people, killed them all in a flash. Hope the police officers come quickly to collect the bodies. No, I mean, to clean up. TSK, what a bullshit plot. Whether they succeeded or not, it's all bullshit anyway. Perhaps because they thought 2 girls couldn't cause much trouble. They only left 2 people to guard us. I let out a soft sigh. Phew, get into the zone, get into the zone. What are you planning to do? She whispered close to my ear. It's dangerous. Don't worry. Look, I turned my back to her and opened my palm. She even doubted herself for a moment before hesitantly asking, look at what? Look at my hands tied behind my back. Unable to do anything. I said, my lifeline is so long. Nothing will happen. She was about to say something when she suddenly held her breath. Of course, I knew the reason. Because, using her figure as cover, I gently pried open the hidden clasp with my fingernail. The nylon zip tie binding my wrists quietly loosened. Thankfully, it was this kind of zip tie. Otherwise, dislocating my thumb would have been quite painful. I put on an arrogant attitude. How did you handle things? Didn't Yang tell you not to mess with me casually? Both of them were stunned and exchanged glances. Yang, also known as Garlic Head, is the maternal uncle of Francis's illegitimate son. I saw at Francis's place that this abandoned factory belongs to him. This is clearing the path for the nephew. We had an agreement. We would work together to eliminate Francis, help his nephew take over, deal with Kathy, and make me the sole heiress of the Roberts family. What's the meaning of this now? Hand me the phone. I need to call him and ask directly. And untie me. These zip ties are killing me. I looked so imperious and self-righteous that the person dumbly nodded and approached to cut me free. Another person suddenly said, Bob, don't untie her yet. Let me make a call to clarify things first. That person lowered their head and began operating their phone, with a sudden motion of my hands behind my back. I flung the sand I had secretly grabbed from the ground right into Bob's face. Damn it, he instinctively covered his eyes. clutching the scissors as he staggered back 2 steps, protecting the scissors, afraid I'll snatch them. At a time like this, randomly stabbing a few times would give me more of a headache. Tisk. Why am I analyzing this instinctively? A makeshift stove built from a few broken bricks remained uncleared. I crouched down and picked up one. In situations like this, a blunt weapon should be the first choice, or at least something that can break bones. Before, I couldn't be bothered to argue. Now, I can't be bothered to waste words. If you won't act with dignity, I'll help you find some. I expressionlessly smashed a brick onto Bob's head. Sigh. If only I had a hammer. The soundproofing was good. Taking out 2 didn't alert the others. Alright, it's over now. The cable tie binding Kathy was undone. I secretly disliked the filth on myself. Yet she hugged me without hesitation. I patted her back. Oh dear, you were scared. It's okay now. I pulled out my phone and, unsurprisingly, it was password protected. To make sure they wouldn't wake up too soon, I gave each of their heads a solid kick, hard enough to plant them in the ground. They probably won't be getting up anytime soon. After some thought, I crouched down and pried open his eyes. Click, it opened. Modern technology. Kid, I reported to the police via text message, sending my current address. At the same time, I messaged Francis, telling him not to foolishly come alone. With Kathy in tow, escaping would be difficult. Now, I just need to buy time and wait for help. If all else fails, I'll have to kill anyone who comes. Suddenly, Kathy asked me, "You're not her, are you?" I froze for a moment. Neither admitting nor denying would be right, so what I should say is, "I don't understand, sorry." Yet before she could even show a bewildered expression, she wrapped her arms around my waist. "I'm sorry, I never told you before, but actually, I was reborn. After being reborn, I gained a cheat ability. Just by binding it, I could make the so-called main characters hear my inner thoughts. I used it on you," I said. Oh snap. Why didn't anyone remind me my mic was unmuted? Kids, this isn't funny. You're nothing like her. I only acted that way because I thought you were her. I'm sorry. I don't actually dislike you. Perhaps we could. I raised my hand to stop her. Here's the thing. I know this is supposed to be a touching moment of confession and heartfelt connection, but there's just one small problem. The system's voice chimed in. "Aw, weren't you the most suitable person for this task? How could you fail? Oh my god, how did the female lead's golden finger end up being used on you? I just don't have many desires, but that doesn't mean I truly don't care about anything." Okay, I was somewhat speechless. "I'll go think of a way to help you." It abruptly stopped, replaced by an emotionless mechanical voice. Warning, character setting not maintained, severe OOC, affecting plot development, electric shock punishment imminent. I knew there would likely be punishment when I acted. I said, "Your system tasks are outsourced, and your punishments are really cliché. Clearly an old school system." No sooner had I spoken than my legs gave way, and Kathy caught me. Hey, she was extremely nervous. "What's going on? What punishment?" The pain made me instinctively grip her forearm, then struggle to let go as my trembling hand buried itself in my hair. "I'm fine. My only task is to play my role. I don't have the obligation to maintain the plot, right? And your plot is so terrible. It's complete nonsense." Feeling the noticeably intensified electric shock, I let out a muffled groan. TCH. Using official matters to settle personal grudges. The red interface representing mission failure surrounded me, saying, "Exposing the mission taker's identity has affected the progress of the small world. Mission failed. Immediate termination initiated." I asked, "How long can I stay?" A number appeared on the interface. 60, 2 months. That's not too bad. The numbers began to change. 59, 58. You have such a high-speed countdown entering the country. Remember the principle I gave you when you were young? Oh my. I haven't even spent all my money yet. I quickly pressed Mom's number, hesitated, and ultimately didn't dial. She doesn't answer calls from strangers. If she later finds out this call was from me, she'll blame herself for everything. I'm sorry. It's my fault. All mine." Kathy trembled, at a loss. "What should I do? What can I do? What can I give in exchange for you? Look at me, Kathy." I forced those tear-filled eyes to meet mine. "This isn't your fault, okay? You're the only one who knows the truth. I need you to calm down and tell Francis. This isn't his fault either. I shouldn't be asking anything of you, but I need you to take care of Mom for me. Can you do that? Will you?" She nodded. I can. I will, I said, don't worry, I won't die, I'm just leaving this place. Then I'll go back to settle the score. Yet she let out a sob, her tears soaking the fabric over my chest. Sister. Hearing the address I'd longed for day and night. And seeing the countdown with about 20 seconds left, I sighed. Oh, I give up to you. I called out the name I hadn't uttered since crossing over until now. 948664. I know I was wrong. Can you help me? The system, my system, has finally appeared. Finally realized my importance. He paused, then let out a sharp scream. What the hell is going on? How dare you secretly hook up with so many systems behind my back? I said, I'm sorry. Back when I was doing missions and didn't listen to the system's advice, I got into danger. Although everything turned out fine in the end, he still got angry with me. I apologized, but he got even angrier. You're not sincerely apologizing at all, you're just brushing me off. You don't care about me one bit. To show that I really do care about him, I sent him a picture. LOL, penguin meat, how deeply I care about him. My feelings, Come find me again when you truly realize your mistake and understand my importance. He hates me with a burning passion, but the serene as chrysanthemum system admires me, so it stole him away from under his nose. However, although 948664 is said to be dormant, there's still a set of data following me. I don't remember being part of the system, always following me around. A bit silly. Gets angry when teased but still sticks to me afterward, often giving me strange pottery pieces. I originally thought it was just a habit passed down from his system days, but it turns out it was affection. Harrison doesn't know that my space is filled with the data figurines he molded. His taste has never changed. I told you he really likes pottery, it's just that the system hasn't retrieved Harrison's portion of the data yet. When he remembers, it's going to be quite a scene. For now, I can only obediently admit my mistake. I didn't mean to, it just slipped out. I'm sorry, but you know, the only system I acknowledge is you. I won't be erased, but if I'm left alone, this body definitely won't survive. But with 948664 here, it's different, of course. Now you see how reliable I am. Just wait. I'll go cut down all your digital peach blossoms. So I survived. 948664, just love to spin in circles, right? Francis opened the door with his team, and sunlight streamed in from outside. I spread my palm to Kathy and laughed. See, I told you my lifeline is long. Big sister stayed. Don't cry now. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.